Greetings and salutations, everyone. My name is Featherhoof.
And I'm CarnagePanda.
And we are here for the finale, the absolute finale of summer 2018.
Last summer, we didn't know you for very long.
But thank God you're gone, because you're fucking hot.
Yeah! Talk about that heat out there.
And gay.
And very gay.
Yes. Because that was definitely the theme of this season. Not necessarily bad, it was a very noticeable theme.
Yeah, I can't remember a time where I've seen a season of anime have so many gay-themed shows. This was like Nirvana or something for people who love gay media.
Well, it was a lot of good gay media, though. That's the awesome part of it. So we're going to go ahead and this week we're going to the format changes a little bit. We're still going to rank the animes, but seeing as we already talked about two of them, they already ended last week. We're just going to talk about them out of order. We're just going to talk about the animes as a whole, what we liked, what we didn't like, and our favorite parts about it. And then the final three are going to be our final three ranked for this week. So without further ado, let's just jump right into our reviews of the season.
And coming in sixth, we're watching the worst show this season, Angels of Death, which apparently was so bad that they actually split it up between different content providers just to give a huge fuck you to the I guess fans of this show.
I don't know.
They do exist, but
I kind of forgot that we did start this season watching Angels of Death. I mean, it was so weird. We started the season watching Angels of Death. We watched the trailer for Joshin-chan and went, the fuck it. This looks generic as balls. Fuck this.
Yeah, we didn't know what to make of Joshin-chan when we watched the trailer.
Because the trailer was not what was advertised.
The trailer was a lie.
Yes, it was. So we picked Angels of Death, which was also a lie. Because the trailer, made us think that it was a good anime. And what did we get, 4 episodes in?
4 or 5, and
we were like, nope.
We can't take any more of this, and I guess this is a really super popular game, but this adaptation, garbage.
Absolute. I mean, okay, I haven't watched past what we've seen. I believe you, however, have been watching it on your own time, just to confirm your own hate.
I only watched this to punish myself for starting to watch it.
He's one of those people, he started it, he couldn't stop. He had to at least finish it because he started it.
Well, it's not that, because
lies.
I do watch a bunch of animes every Sunday, and I clean up my place to make sure that it's clean, so...
I love that you say animes. The weebs are like trying to jump through the screen to strangle you.
That's gonna trigger every weeb in the world, but... I watch a bunch of animes. I watch up to like 15 different shows, because that's what it takes to clean up my place from top to bottom.
And clean your palate after an episode of Angels of Death.
But, this was like just the perfect, I'm done cleaning and I just want to sit down and veg out show, because this is like junk. It was like junk food, really.
Yeah.
Terrible to consume, and it will kill your overall health and mental well-being. And I do remember the last episode of this is a super spoiler since we have not covered any of the other episodes, but
you have been warned.
Apparently, Rachel killed her parents.
What? You mean what I was predicting all along? Really?
And Zach is watching this on a TV, and he's like, "Oh my god, that's horrific!" And I was like,
the murder, the gruesome murderer is going, "Oh my god, that's horrific." I love it.
It's one of those scenes that is just unintentionally hilarious just by watching it, because Zach is a huge murderer. He loves to kill everybody. He's like, "Oh my god, this is blowing my mind."
I just couldn't get into it because neither of the characters were relatable. I didn't feel anything for either of them. Zach is so far over the top, murder psycho guy, and Rachel is so over the top so under the top. She's like under the bottom, boring. Jesus Christ! If I do this, you'll kill me. Promise you'll kill me. Oh my god! I hope you shut up. Oh my god.
You know the best thing about shows you don't like is that you can drop them. We're not in that area where we have to absolutely watch it from start to finish anymore.
I mean, I think I was done when we got to the little kid who's like, I'll kill you and I'll give you a beautiful grave. Why won't you let me kill you? Because Zack swore to God that he would. That's when I was like, out. I'm done. This is dumb.
But we also have our number 5, which was Joshin-chan.
Dropkick on my devil.
Dropkick on my devil, which, you know, it was a great show for some episodes, and then other episodes, it did kind of drop the ball.
I mean, when we started watching it, when we dropped Angels of Death and we picked up Joshin-chan, our joke was that as if we've been watching it all along. There was no such other thing.
Yeah.
And we've binge watched the first 3 episodes to get caught up, and then watched that 4th episode that week. Those were beautiful episodes. They were funny. They were on point. You know, Joshin-chan. Every episode, there's at least one arc where Joshin-chan's trying to kill Urine, and it's you know, her epic failures are hilarious. And there's always these little interstitial, setups and jokes in between, and you know, settings and little stories. And it was fun. It's still funny. But then every once in a while, we got those episodes where it's like, it's still random, but it's not funny.
Well, for me, those first 4 episodes that we watched kind of felt like, to me, back in ye old days when we were teenagers or 20 years old or something, which happened at some point in the history of this world, when we were watching shows like Invader Zim and Excel Saga.
Yes, Excel Saga. I love that show so hard.
These shows were hilarious, and that's exactly how I felt this show was.
Yeah.
But then it kind of stumbled and dropped the ball. It recovered, but
then it dropped it again. To recover again. But then, unfortunately, right at the end,
gives us a disappoint finale.
Yeah. Where it's like, we're going to be serious this episode. It's like, why? Why would you do that? We're going to give you a menagerie of all the characters brought back for even just a second, and it's going to be not funny. And it's going to be... I mean, it was like Urine got sick and Joshin-chan took care of her. They went to a Sakura festival, and it was like, and the other thing that was kind of funny is Joshin-chan getting carried off into space by a balloon. It was just sort of like surrealist more than it was funny.
In my opinion, that finale was not a good episode at all. And
no.
It kind of soured my taste, even though I still like the show.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, it's kind of junk food in itself.
But it's like it's the junk food that you don't feel bad for eating.
Yeah, it's the junk food that you keep shoveling in your mouth, and you're like thinking in the back of your mind, I know this isn't good for me, but I love it.
Yeah, it's not like Angels of Death where it's the kind of junk food you put in your mouth and you're going, I'm regretting every bite of this. I mean, favorite moment of Joshin-chan. Can you think of like your favorite moment?
Hands down, the scene on the mountain where they're saying
yes,
no,
yes,
and then they have these subtitles at the bottom that are like completely different, and they're having a complete dialogue just between yes and no. That is hands down the best skit in the show.
I think my favorite moment had to be just because of how it made me react. It made me do the phase. Still had to be when they introduced the ice demons, and just because their blood is, what was it, fruit punch flavored or cherry flavored or something like that, and their piss is lemonade flavor. And it's like, what? And then you open up the fucking slushy stand, or was it the shaved ice stand?
Mm-hmm. So here's food for thought.
Please.
Can they make chocolate flavor?
I think there was a joke that was leading to that, but then they didn't do it. They didn't do it. It was like when they brought back the ice demons for their final skit. I thought they were going there. They were like, "Oh, we're having a problem with selling our shaved ice thing in the ice realm of hell." It's like it's because nobody wants. I'm sure nobody wants that shaved ice.
Because hell is frozen over. In this timeline, and they're like, nobody wants your shaved ice when it's freezing outside.
So I thought for sure they were going to come back to the Earth realm to sell their stuff again with a new flavor, and it was like, oh no, don't do it. Don't do it. Well, they didn't do it. They listened to me and didn't do it. I shouldn't have said that, because that would have been a great joke. But they didn't fucking do it. So I think my favorite character of the show, though, had to be Pekala. Because all her scenes were just of God trolling her. God was fucking trolling her in that universe.
You know, I don't think I had a favorite character, but they did have one character in the show that had no point in the show.
Minos?
No, the character that is walking around looking for Joshing Chan, and they don't wrap...
Persephone the Second?
Yeah, Persephone the Second. They don't wrap that up at all.
Nope.
There's like... The only time she shows up, she's like, "Where are you, Joshing Chan?"
And she always misses her by a second or something.
And then it never wraps up.
Yeah, I don't know. I just had a couple things. Like, I loved Minos. I loved Pekala. I definitely loved Medusa. Medusa was so fun.
I think all of them were fun.
They were, but I think like my favorite characters were definitely Pekala, Minos, and Medusa.
To me, this isn't a show where I could pick a favorite character where there's somebody that's Gur level, but...
Okay. Oh, yeah, nobody can be.
It's just a blast watching all of them. They're all... Well, not all of them. Only Joshing Chan is horrible.
Well, this is why Joshing Chan isn't on my list, is because she was the main character, and she was so inconsistent. She usually when those episodes that fell flat were the episodes where she wasn't consistent with herself from previous episodes.
Oh.
That's what kind of bugged me about her character. Same with Urine. Urine did the same thing. It just felt so off to me. That's why I didn't really care for those characters, but I loved the other ones. But when they were on point, they were really good. It was just those off episodes, and that's why they sort of fell flat for me. But anyway, I think it was a really good show. It was definitely worth our time. I'm grateful we dropped Angels of Death for it. Hands down.
That is the best decision I've made in maybe the last 6 months.
Sure, coming back to do this anime talk again, that wasn't one of your best decisions. No. Dropping Angels of Death was... Oh, it is. Fine.
But you do remember, we picked up Angels of Death when we decided to do this.
That's true. That was a bad decision. Anyway, so... we had a really good decision, really bad decision, but we're going to go ahead and talk about another series that ended last week. That was a fantastic decision, even if by accident. So, the other show that ended last week that we're going to talk about again is the fantastic Banana Fish. I mean, it didn't end, it's just...
Ended.
It's the end of the season.
End of the season. Which,
we had a talk, we talked about it. Usually Anime Talk is supposed to be about highlighting new animes that come out that season. And we love Banana Fish so much that we're actually going to continue it into the next season of Anime Talk.
First time we're doing this, by the way.
Yes. Because it was just that fucking good. And unfortunately, it was longer than we expected it was going to be. Because when we started it... Well, first off, when we found it on my anime list...
We had no idea it was going to be 24 episodes when we first looked at it.
Well, we had no idea about anything about the show. We never heard of the manga. All we saw were the words Banana Fish on the screen. And I went, I don't know what that is, but I honestly wanted just every day come on screen to say, I saw Banana Fish today. Because that's funny as fuck. So, going completely blind, this show was fantastic. It still is fantastic.
This is an easy 10 out of 10.
Absolutely. Even with its stumbles, and it's had some stumbles. But they weren't a lot. I think of the 12 episodes we've seen this season, there were maybe 2 stumbles.
I'm going to overlook those stumbles because I don't believe they happen.
I think the only thing that, I'm not going to say ruins it for me, but just makes it feel inconsistent is the most recent episodes where Eiji and Ash are like doing this Harriet and Ozzy. Like they're doing the odd couple thing. It's like fucking Ash would come in the door after murdering people, and Eiji's there to go, "Hi, honey, welcome home. Let me put your feet up. Here's your dinner." It's like, okay, this feels forced and weird, but not bad because it's something you could laugh at.
Yeah, Ash right in the middle of starting gang wars, coming home
to a doting wife,
yes.
Basically. And it's look, they are an adorable couple. Let's be perfectly honest. When you see them together, it's this adorable little couple scenes, and it's fun to watch. It's just in the middle of a gang war while he's also fighting the mafia. And, with lots of both shown and implied, adult and child rape. With drugs that turn people psychotic. It's like, it feels out of place.
The twist about banana fish.
Well, that was weird too.
They were kind of leading us around about that.
It's a person. It's a thing. No, it's a drug.
And then turns out it's a
serum, a special drug.
Some kind of psychotic making drug. And I think the last scene we saw about it, because there was no episode this week, they're on hiatus. Thank them for saving us from the dreaded recap episode.
Oh, thank God.
Maybe I'm speaking too soon.
No. We come back next week to a goddamn... Yeah, oh, God, no.
And I'll be like, oh, God, why would you do this to us?
I hope they don't ruin an absolute excellent show by doing that.
But this is my best guess, is that they're just taking a break to get their ducks in a row. And
well, it's not like they need to worry about the manga getting so far ahead, because the manga was it's an 80s manga, isn't it?
Well, I'm just talking about on the production side, just to get their ducks in the row so that they don't get behind just because of how anime is made.
Right.
So, no recap episode. Yeah. Pretty good deal there.
See, it was funny. Like, I remember we as the weeks went on and we were watching it. We were reading comments. There's the one comment. Dude's like, "I can't watch the show. There's too much rape."
I must have missed that one.
You were there. You showed it to me. But it's like, it's like the dude seems to completely miss the idea that rape is showed as a bad thing, and everyone who's bad does it. And then it gives the good guys plausible. The plausible right, what was it? Justifiable revenge, I think that one guy called it, Arthur called it, to just murder the people who are bad because
you're
they were
exactly
rapists.
Right, because Ash's gang does not partake in the raping of anybody else.
Yep.
So, I guess we do have our good guys.
Yes, because apparently in the world of banana fish, in the United States of America of banana fish, you fall into one of two categories: rapists or people who get raped. I mean, it's literally, those are the only factions in that world.
And everybody is gay.
Or at least bi-curious. Because at Max Lobo, he had a wife and a kid. And AG,
everybody else.
And AG has a mother, and AG has a mother and a father and a sister.
There are way too many gay people in this show.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, this was the best show of the season.
Absolutely.
Nothing comes close.
Nope. What was your favorite moment?
Maybe a show that I'm watching on the side that we aren't covering here.
No, go ahead. Say it.
Which is Attack on Titan.
Well, yeah, everyone loves Attack on Titan.
Which I was never a fan of the first two seasons, just to be honest. But this one...
See, I love the first season.
Pretty damn good season. But... That put aside, and what we've been discussing, this is definitely the best show.
Yes. What was your favorite moment? Can you think of a favorite moment from that show?
Oh, there's just too many of them.
I know mine.
The show has so many moments, and I hate to call it my favorite, but when Shorter dies...
Oh. I guess, it's not your favorite... It's not the favorite thing to happen, but it was a fantastic scene.
Yes.
Yes, that was... Oh, God. Very rarely this season has anything tugged at our heartstrings like that scene.
I didn't see this coming, to be honest, because I think in the episode we did the week before he died, I said something like, this isn't going to last, Shorter's going to get out of it because he's too much of a badass.
Yeah.
But I was completely wrong, and... Shorter dies, so I guess nobody in this show is safe.
Nope. I have to say my favorite scene, and this is I'm just a psychotic killer fan, I don't know, but it was the scene where Ash finally confronts the dude who shot up Shorter. I think his name was Arthur. The guy who gave Shorter the banana fish.
I'm not sure.
I think his name was Arthur, wasn't it? Or is that his brother?
Was that the scientist?
Yeah, the scientist.
You're talking about the scientist, right?
Either him or his brother's name was Arthur. I can't remember which. I want to say it was Arthur, because I can't remember off the top of my head. But when he confronts him finally, Because when Arthur gave him that speech about like I killed those men because they made fun of me in the army and it was justifiable revenge, and just Ash comes down those stairs loading the gun and gives his little speech about justifiable revenge, and loads more rounds than that clip could have possibly held into that dude. He perforated his body, and it was just like, damn, motherfucker. That scene was like, yeah.
Well, you also have that scene where I think it was Ash was about to punch some dude, and then Max Lobo stomped him.
Yes.
And it was like,
no. It was eBay or Issei.
No, they both did. Okay, so it was gonna be one of those moments where he stops him, and you think he's gonna be like, this isn't, this isn't like you. You're better than this,
right?
But no, Max Lobo is like, I want to do it myself.
That's right. He punches him. Then he gets up, and eBay's there.
Yeah, eBay's like, just for good measure.
But this one's for some. I think he said this was for somebody. I can't remember what it was, but he, bam! That was beautiful. I did love that. Or how about the scene where Shorter saves AG and them when they're captured? The scene where Griffin dies. It's like, what, we had men standing out there. Yeah, I took care of your men. He comes in there and takes care of everyone in the room.
This is exactly why I did not see Shorter's death coming, because Shorter's like, yeah, I just took care of everybody, and then you have the scene where he just like teleports behind the guy and slits his throat.
Yep.
I don't know where this show's go. Well, I'm pretty sure that there's going to be Ash killing Golzine. There's going to be that scene, but anything else, I'll probably be taken by surprise.
Absolutely.
Poor choice of words.
Oh God, no. I think the only thing I can think of that was bad about Banana Fish, the only thing that was really, and I hesitate to say bad because it's not really bad. It's just that, well, for one thing, I wasn't a fan of when they did the cross country.
Yeah,
it's like suddenly they're in New York, suddenly they're in California.
I said, are we getting a road trip?
Yeah.
Because at that point I knew that we were getting 24 episodes.
Right.
And that's just abridged.
Well, yeah, it's like they start the trip. Second episode, they're meeting up with Ash's dad. Third episode, they're in California.
Yeah, they go from New York to California and then back in like a flash.
Yeah. That I wasn't too big a fan of. I was hoping for more. We were told in the comments that Ash being a master of everything is explained in the manga. It's not explained here. We get no explanation of why he's a master of fucking everything. And it just seems like it's like, okay, because I wish we'd have. I don't like it when it's like characters like, the most recent Star Wars with Rey. She's just like, she's a master of fucking everything for no reason.
Let's not talk about that.
But that's what it feels like with Ash Lobo. He's a master of everything, and as far as the anime is concerned, for no reason. They haven't shown why he's a master of everything. And that kind of bugs me. It actually does.
Yeah, sometimes when they bring it from the source material to the adaptation, they cut things out.
Right.
And you're like, why did they cut that out?
Right, and it's something I wish they wouldn't have cut out. But, and I think there was another thing on my mind if I was thinking about something that actually didn't... Oh, what was it? Okay, yeah, and the other thing was, like I said, it's just those weird AG and Ash moments just felt kind of out of place sometimes. It was like a comedy slice of life anime sort of intrudes on this mafia crime drama anime.
You know what I'm going to say about that? You need some downtime to because if it's just all uptime and we're guns blazing the whole time, you're gonna expect it all the time, and it's gonna get boring.
I will grant you that. Because it isn't that I didn't. Okay, look, I didn't not like those scenes. I enjoyed those scenes. I'm just saying it felt jarring. It felt like there's like another anime intruded.
No. Well, there's slice of life animes that are really boring, and yes. I get you on that, but there's also slice of life animes like Girlish Number, which are just truly amazing. So,
granted, I will give you that one.
Anyway, do you agree with me that this show had the best opening and ending?
Absolutely.
Out of
yes, just hands down. This season, that has the absolute best opening and closing.
Even better than Attack on Titans, right?
At least this season?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
That's just because he said he hated it.
No, I didn't. Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did.
It was season 1 and 2 that I liked. Well, first half of season 1 and then season 2 that I liked. It was season 3 and second half of 1 I wasn't a fan of. But anyway.
But we do know that they're replacing it for the next season.
Haven't heard it. Don't like it already.
We haven't heard it.
Nope.
Or apparently it's not going to be by Man with a Mission, but
Boo!
When we do get to
more
it,
really good wolf masks. More really good wolf masks.
Hopefully, well, we'll get to that later, but I hope it's just, well, given like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, there's like 2 openings that we agree with on there, and then we don't like the rest. But
I didn't say that.
You did too.
No. 2 was really good. I liked 2's. 3's wasn't bad. 5's was just like, hey, want to watch everybody cry.
But hopefully we do get it, because this was just an amazing show with an amazing opening, an amazing ending.
Yeah.
It's the total package.
Yep, that was like, it's our absolute favorite of the week, of the season. But now with those out of the way, seeing as we talked about them, we finished it off. Well, we've talked about them, we finished our thoughts on them for the season. We're going to go to the final 3 anime we watched this week. Their finales.
That actually had finales this week.
And we're going to count them down for you right now, starting with our number 3.
And our number 3 pick coming in this week is Review Starlight. And
which I'm disappointed.
I'm disappointed as well, because I don't think it was a bad finale.
No, this was no Dropkick on My Devil. I mean...
But this was definitely the weakest finale that we watched this week.
And not actually... Yeah, it's like of this season, it's the second weakest finale, but of this week, definitely the weakest. It's... Now, would you agree with me if I were to say it felt incredibly rushed?
Yeah, because this show has a lot of characters in it.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them, at least, doesn't matter. And that is Mahiru.
Yes.
No matter how you slice this show, it's a lesbian romance. And
no, it is multiple lesbian romances.
Well, that goes without being said.
Too bad I said it.
And Mahiru is left out in the cold, and she doesn't matter. And I think I'm going to deduct some points from this show.
Why is that?
Number 1, Karen is dumb.
Yeah,
she's not just dumb; she's really dumb.
I'm not going to say that. I think she was fine.
Number 2, the giraffe is an asshole.
Well, why are you going to deduct points from that? That's just sort of a given. That's what he is.
I no longer trust giraffes.
Okay, yeah, Jeffrey was, actually, he really got into it this episode. He was, beyond breaking the fourth wall, I think he had a giraffe-gasm. He was like, yes, this is what I wanted to see! Oh my god!
I think the highest point of the show was episode 7, which was Banana-chan.
Yes.
The time loop. Mm-hmm. And it never really regained that
epicness.
Yeah, it never really regained that amount of steam going forward.
I'll agree with you on that. I will agree. I mean, it isn't that I didn't like the story they were continuing with. The Banana-chan story really absolutely gave it its backstory and why everything was happening and why everything really was. But the problem is when you explain your backstory and your backstory is more interesting than the story you're telling, that's kind of a problem.
Yeah, so the 5 episodes that came out after episode 7.
Yeah, so this episode,
This episode was Karen going to the snowy wastelands to find Hikari.
I think it was sand.
I don't know, pink...
White pink sand.
White pink sand. And Hikari's there, and she keeps doing her version of Starlight over and again.
Well, actually,
and over again.
But actually, that's the fun part. It's not even her version. Remember her version that she brought with her that she translated for Karen was the one that had the happier ending, the one where they got together in the end, where Claire goes back up to find Flora. She's actually being forced to perform in infinite loop. She's being forced to perform the sad, tragic version of Starlight over and over and over again.
Is it really the sad, tragic version? Because she climbs that tower and gets blapped each time.
It wasn't for us. That was hilarious. This giant prop star keeps coming down and smacking the tower she keeps building out of little star rocks. And she keeps getting blapped and chucked back to the ground, where she says the final lines of Starlight, and then, like an Alzheimer patient, starts from the beginning and does it all over again.
And she kind of ignores Karen.
I don't think she even recognizes she's there.
Yeah, it's kind of like yeah, you're right, like she has Alzheimer. She's dementia, forgotten who Karen is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, no, she's playing the character of Claire. So Claire forgets her own name. She forgets about Flora in the story of Starlight. She has amnesia, and that's part of the reason why they go up the tower to catch both stars to regain her memories in the story. And it's playing that out in real life for Karen and Hikari.
Well, to be honest, I didn't really care about this part because, to be honest, other than the blapping, it was boring.
It kind of was. When we finally got to the Starlight part, the stage girl part, rather, it was the shortest, quickest, second shortest. The first shortest was when, the ultimate betrayal.
Yeah.
Chink, over.
Yeah, so they do the Starlight, and initially Hikari wins, and then Karen's
This is the problem. This is the problem I have. Karen just sort of comes in and says, nope, Deus Ex Machina this shit.
Yeah, she's like, I don't accept this. I substitute my reality, or I don't accept your reality.
I don't accept your reality, and I substitute my own.
Yeah, and she gets Hikari to come back over.
Yeah, she defeats Hikari with another single swipe. And it's just sort of like, okay.
While Jeffrey is in the background talking to the audience, which is us, and having this massive giraffe orgasm.
Giraffegasm.
Giraffegasm about how awesome this is, and like, what?
Yeah, it's so weird. And again, feels so rushed. Oh my god. We need to hurry. It's like, it feels like the animators are like, shit, we need to hurry, because this is our final episode. We don't have another episode after this. So it's like, even during the credits, they show them sort of playing out, like, apparently, even though the parts were already decided months ago, they recast Karen and Hikari as the leads in the 100th festival version of Starlight.
I guess they use Banana's altered script or whatever, and
yeah,
it goes from being a tragedy, and we get the mega happy ending.
Yeah, and it just feels,
except for Mahiru.
Yeah, except for Mahiru, who's left out in the cold, and it just feels so. It feels flat. It's like, oh, we got to this point where, yes, we're gonna figure this all out. It's all gonna be great, and oh my god, we're gonna see this awesome fight. It's gonna be this deep thing, this deep dive into some kind of psychology or something.
I expected the deep part,
but it just. We get there, and all we really get are two really quick fights with Karen Deus Ex Machina everything to fit her reality, and Jeffrey gasming, and it just sort of.
You know what this kind of reminds me of? It's kind of when little kids are playing together, and
yes,
the one kid is like, "Bang! I shot you. You're dead," and the other kid's like, "Nuh-uh."
Yeah,
they start getting into the loop of nuh-uh, nuh-uh.
Yeah, I kind of did feel that way. So, the anime overall, though, what did you think of Review Starlight overall?
I was really digging the show. The biggest fault of it is that it hits episode 7, comes to a glorious climax.
Yes.
And then goes to the
I mean, you can't say
no amount, and it's not as good.
You can't say that the review duet was not incredibly fun to watch, though. In the third to last episode.
Okay, so the duets were great, and I'm gonna compare this to another show, which is Madoka Magica.
Okay.
Because this has the time loop as well.
All right.
But the time loop episode comes really late. Like, it's a 12 episode series.
Okay.
And I think it comes to like episode 10 when it's basically all over.
Okay.
And it's going right into the finale at that point. And you know, they don't waste any time going right to the finale. This kind of just lags along, and
yeah, I will grant you that. Yeah. You know, I really liked it as well, and I have to kind of parrot him. It does get, well, it's like I said before. As much as I like the show, it's a bad sign when your subplot is more interesting than your main plot. So that sort of falls. I don't agree with him that Karen was dumb.
She's dumb.
She's your
dumb.
She's your optimistic trope.
She's dumb, and she's obsessive.
She's very obsessive. She's optimistic, and you know I don't think she's dumb. She's just obsessed, and there's a difference. And I think she was a really well-written character for what the story needed. But
I think a better ending would have been if Hikari was not even in the show, and she got together with Mahiru. Because
I don't mind Hikari being in the show, but I would have preferred an ending that actually showed that Mahiru and Karen ended up together.
I would like to compare this to Eiji and Ash's relationship in Banana Fish.
Okay, please.
You know, because obviously they care about each other.
Right.
Mahiru cares about Karen, and Karen completely friend zones her.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of true to say that with obsessed as Karen is with her promise, Mahiru is that obsessed with Karen.
But they don't portray it that way.
Yes, they do.
They don't portray it. Like, Karen is unhealthily obsessed.
In the beginning, before Mahiru was basically written out of the show, after she gets her episode and it's basically written out.
That poor girl.
She actually is very obsessed with Karen. Obsessed. Even when like Hikari comes to their room, stay in their room, she's freaking out and doesn't want her to stay, and you know, it's like she's really mean to Hikari for a little while there.
Well, this show had a lot of potential. It built up to be really good. And
favorite moment of Review Starlight.
The entirety of episode 7.
Now, I will say my favorite moment. Good moment though. I did like 6 and 7 were great episodes. Where 6 where Banana fights against Hikari, and 7 where she fights against Karen. Great episodes with great stage girl fights. But my favorite moments, my absolute one favorite moment, is when Hikari leaves the school and Karen's searching everywhere for her, even in Maya's bath and shit.
She's looking at these really weird spots.
Yeah, she just jumps behind Claire, who's like sort of like sitting on a bench outside, and Claire's so startled by it. It's the first time we hear her start screaming at her in French, and Karen, instead of getting surprised or sad or anything, she just stares deadpan at her going, I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying when you're not speaking Japanese. Because we get the French subtitles on the side and everything. I think that was my possibly hands down favorite moment of the show, was that right there. Actually, I really like that episode when the girls are all trying to cover for Karen and Hikari for being out of school.
When they're like, yeah, if you're in before 7 and they come in at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And she missed 7 p.m.
Right. And they come back and they're like, oh, we got away with it. And the teacher comes by on a bike going, by the way, you're all meant in detention now, you know, for like the next week or some shit. And it was just like, for you and everyone else who covered for you. And it shows everybody else going, ah, shit. So I think that was my favorite moment. So, yeah, the finale kind of fell flat. It was still fun to watch. It just... weird Deus Ex Machina moments and things that didn't really make sense. And it's... not our favorite this week. But with that said, we're going to go ahead and move on to another anime, which had a far more satisfying finale. So coming up at number 2 on our list this week is Cells at Work, which the highest it's ever been this entire, I think, since the beginning of the season, where I think we put it up really high. But I think it was on number 2 in the first week or second week.
It does have that benefit of us only having 3 shows to watch this week. Mm-hmm. But this was a good finale.
It absolutely was.
I was absolutely satisfied with how this show ended.
So we have the continuation of Hemorrhagic Shock. And it's... Okay. So it's actually... it shows White Blood Cell 1146 running around trying to find anybody. He's like, anybody! Where's anybody? He finds one cell, and it actually sort of... It depicts what that would look like from their world's perspective of suddenly losing trillions... What do you say? Zillions?
Anybody?
Yeah.
Is that like the any key that Homer is always looking for?
Anybody. He's any of the red blood cells all got sucked out into oblivion because of the massive head trauma. The blood running out. They actually portray it, and it's actually like, oh god. It's sort of like in Final Fantasy IX when the queen uses the one summon to suck up everyone in that city. Atomos.
Yeah, Atomos.
It's sort of like, it was like that. It's just sort of like, oh god. And it's actually kind of in a way, kind of dark for the show.
Yeah,
like they haven't been this dark since Cancer.
No, this was even darker. This was even darker.
I'm saying they haven't been this dark since, I'm saying.
Because we know Cancer is a serious thing.
Right.
But it was not portrayed as an apocalyptic world and as grim dark as this could have been, because it really leads up to, and it looks like the body that they're going to be in is actually going to die. Yes. And this is like the majority of the episode. Mm-hmm.
What I liked about it is because this is like one of the... usually when they break character, it annoys me. Like in Honey Body with was it Claudine? Or
Connie.
Connie. But Connie and... so when they break character, established character, it bugs me. Here, it kind of worked, because Red Blood Cell 3803, she becomes this very determined, very... world-traveled character, as opposed to the bumbling idiot she always is. And I like, because she's trying to be the senpai she thinks that her kohai deserves,
Well, these kind of things actually really work for me, because I like these stories where when the chips are really down, mm-hmm. and it seems like all hope is lost,
right?
And there's some character that is still there,
Yes.
Going the path forward and inspiring everybody else.
My favorite scene has to be when the body temperature drops and it's portrayed as a blizzard.
Yeah.
And Kohai is just like, what's the point? Stop it! Stop it, senpai! There's no point! There's no way that the two of us are going to be able to do any good whatsoever, because we're just 2 blood cells, we're never going to be able to detox oxygen. Stop trying to be the big, strong senpai thing, and, knock it off. We're all going to die. And she just grabs her face, looks her dead in the eye. And
I was expecting a headbutt at this point, by the way.
But they, instead of going with the comedy, they actually, in this comedy show, created this beautiful moment where 3803
this episode is like almost completely bereft of comedy.
Yes. Almost. You can't help but laugh when you see the platelets trying to be serious. But I mean, it's because they're doing it too damn cute. But she just grabs her by the face and just looks, look, I am going to deliver oxygen to the cells until the end of my days. That's what I'm here to do. That's my job. And I will not stop doing that, no matter what. That is what our purpose is, regardless of what's happening. And she just gets up in the middle of that snowstorm, says, fuck you, puts on the harness, and keeps dragging the oxygen until her body can't do it anymore. And it's so fucking, like, you expect somebody just in the background just to start going... Yeah, just cheering her on. Just like, go! Go, Red Blood Cell! Go, 3803!
I mean, I really like this scene. It did not touch me as some other shows. Mm-hmm. I recently finished Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh God.
I really like that scene at the end with Ed going up against Father after he gets his blah 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 back. And
after he gets his spoiler back. But when he just loses it on Father.
But this guy Father, he's like unassailable.
Yep.
And Ed's gonna stand up there and stop this guy for everybody.
Yep.
And these kinds of stories, I can't help but adore them. It just stirs something inside of me.
It is. It's so good. But then, like I predicted last week, I'm like, well, isn't the only thing that's can help in this situation a blood transfusion? Well, she passes out and she meets other red blood cells sort of revive her. And she's like, what? Who are you? Because they're all wearing a different outfit than her. They got like snow outfits for whatever reason. And you see another one of those big pipes, the IV looking pipes, and they're all like sliding down and whee!
Yeah, this happens at the very end of the episode. I thought for a moment...
2/3. I wouldn't say the very end. It was like 2/3.
No, this is like the very end.
No, because there was an epilogue.
They get the blood transfusion, and then they wrap it up, but that's very short. I thought for a moment that they were just gonna go with the grim dark ending.
Yeah.
And everybody was gonna die.
It wouldn't have been surprising. It was actually... That would have been a way to end things.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be like an educational show in Japan, I think.
I don't know if it's supposed to be educational, but it is.
But it would actually really be a thing. Like, people do die. Things happen. Death happens, regardless...
I mean, if you're losing a lot of blood, you're gonna...
Did they even show how the body is almost self-destructive? Like, they tried to turn up the blood pressure?
Yeah, there's self-destructive things that your body does to try to help itself.
Yep, but it's actually hurting itself. I mean, I love the stick figures falling off into oblivion.
Oh, that kind of cracked me up because it's like stick figures, really.
Yep, they're trying to go across the an artery that was on the surface of the collision. It's to portray them going across a
to portray
cliff.
a really damaged blood vessel.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things in a video game where you have to shimmy across.
Yeah. And as they turn up the blood pressure, the higher ups turn up the blood pressure, and it causes such panic that people fall off, it causes more bleeding. And people fall off into the oblivion, outside the body. And at first it's like, oh my god, we actually get to see red blood cell death, but then it pans back, and to show them from far off that they're far away, they're just stick figures.
Yeah, so this was a very satisfying conclusion to the series, and I would actually recommend this show despite the faults that I have said all season.
Yeah.
Which I think is Crunchyroll's fault.
I don't know.
I don't know if this is a problem in Japan or if it's going to be a problem in like the Blu-rays or anything. But I have seen doctors talk about this, like YouTube videos where they're like, oh, this is a really cool show, and oh, that's very accurate. So it's very educational, and like you said, if there was a show like this when you were a kid, you would have paid attention more.
Absolutely. I really wish I had this show as a child. And I learned, I wouldn't say I learned, but as much as relearned things that from health class because of this show. So it was actually really good for that.
Yeah, I think this show goes above and beyond, despite the I don't know the word, the excessive amounts of murder and the almost grimdark ending.
Yes. So we did get the mega happy ending. The blood transfusion happens, it's successful, and now these new red blood cells live in this body. And this is actually really... It was like, this is a really nice body. Despite it being kind
of...
There
was that one scene, though.
Such and such, yada yada.
Yeah.
When giving us the head red blood cell of the transfused blood stands up to get everyone worked up, and his opening lines are, such and such, yada yada.
He's trying to explain the whole situation.
Yeah.
And it works perfectly.
It does. So... It ends in a very satisfying way. I mean, it shows 3803's Kohai. She's now a full-fledged red blood cell, and she watches her with a sense of satisfaction. 1146 shows up. And he's like, "How you doing?" I was like, "Oh, still getting lost." He's like, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not." He's like, "Your map's upside down." "No, it's not. Shut up. Shut the fuck up." It's
I almost think that when she gave that oxygen to the guy, that wasn't the guy she was supposed to give it to. She was just making it up. She's like, oh yeah, this looks legit.
It was either one of two things. It was either that, or she accidentally showed up at the right place.
Yeah.
So it was... Okay, the show overall. Because it was a satisfying finale. We've said that before. Show overall. What do you think of Cells at Work as a show?
I would give this show a 9 out of 10. I would highly recommend it. The only flaw I really see...
Goddamn subtitles.
Are those goddamn subtitles.
Walls of text.
It was so annoying. They put it up there twice. Guys talking about it, you know, like a macrophage or whatever. What's going on? They're talking about it. You know, the subtitles are going along. And then there's this wall of text over here, which says the same exact thing.
Yep. Not all the time. There were some times where it deviated, but most of the time, it was exactly the same.
Most of the time, it was this, and it was god-awful annoying.
Yes. Favorite moment. Favorite moment of Cells at Work. Can you think of one?
Favorite moment. Let's see. You know, I can't think of a favorite moment.
Okay.
Because the show was pretty solid all throughout, despite the fact that it did have some pacing and plot issues.
I wouldn't say plot issues, but pacing, yeah. Because it's like the episodes seem to vary in severity. It's like we halfway through we got cancer
in the middle of the season, and then some non-serious things in between that.
I think my favorite moment had to be from episode 1. Episode 1 had my favorite moment, where it's after the germ had gotten away, and she says goodbye to 1146, and she's going off to go deliver her thing. Gets lost again. It's like, oh, it must be in here. And she opens the door, and there's the escaped germ. And she just slowly closes the door, and then the germ busts through the wall. Don't fucking pretend like that didn't just fucking happen.
And you know what? Speaking of the first episode, this had a very good first episode.
Yes, it did. It started fantastically. It ended fantastically. Had some missteps in the middle.
Yeah.
But it anti-favorite moments, you know, the unfavorite moment of the show, when we got all the, you know, blood cell babies will make your dreams come true. You know, it's like we got the scene with like red blood cell as a child, and then we got 2 scenes, like 2 different episodes of killer T cell as a child.
Oh.
It was like, okay, you know, these episodes feel like filler. They're not really helping
anything. They might have
been. I didn't care for them. Didn't care for them. They wrecked the show as far as I was concerned. And so yeah, that's how I feel about the show.
Finished on a strong note.
Yes.
And second best ending of the season, which is just an earworm.
Oh, yes. Happy good day. See, I just spoke Japanese right there. The ending credits showed me that's
nailed it.
Yep. Happy good day is Japanese. Just so you know. And with that, unless you have any other parting thoughts, I think we're ready to move on.
Yeah, definitely ready to move on.
We're going to move on to our favorite finale of
bonus points if you can guess what it is.
As if it's possibly the one we haven't spoken about yet.
I have no clue what it is, actually.
Oh, okay. Well,
I will in a few moments.
Right after this here cut.
And our number 1 show this week, which is... What was it?
Child abuse.
Oh yeah, Hanebado. This was a solid finale, and
oh my god, it was good.
This was the best match in the history of the world.
Yes,
it's like Jack Black came down and started singing the tribute.
Oh god,
because we have the conclusion to the match between Aragaki and Ayano.
Yes,
and I guess I was wrong about them cheering about the evil overlord, cheering her on. It was the power of friendship brings her back to the light side.
Yes. And because it was on record, and I have to cop to it, I said that Ayano was going to win, but Aragaki was going to have some kind of personal victory. That did not happen. He predicted it. How did it end up? Yes, you did. You were on the side. How did it end?
This ended in, when the Marvel movies were first coming out.
Okay.
And we would talk about them at the end, and I'd always say, I wish these fight scenes were more of a brawl.
Right.
This is exactly, I got what I wanted out of this.
It absolutely, if they didn't have rackets in their hands, the way that the scenes were spliced together sometimes, I swear to God, they were punching each other. They were in an actual shonen battle.
And the animation is as good as always,
It is top notch this episode.
It's probably the best animated show. Well, we do have Attack on Titan, and
I think this is the best.
This is the best one we were watching.
Yes.
for this here.
For anime talk.
I can't heap enough praises on that.
No, not enough.
Yeah, I got the brawl I have always wanted out of a show, and I cannot be more happy about it.
The future of mankind was decided on this epic badminton battle.
This is exactly right. we had them going back and forth, and it almost was a shutout. In the first episode, we had Ayano shutting out Aragaki.
Right.
But this one, Aragaki is on top for the...
Well,
there was 2 out of 3 or something?
There was 2 matches last episode. Aragaki wins one, Ayano wins one.
Okay, so this is the third one.
Right.
Yeah.
So it all comes down to this, and Ayano at first was letting her win. She wasn't even trying.
Yeah, so...
She until the power of friendship, go Ayano, go! And she's like, I gotta do this.
So they have this fantastic match. They're going back and forth. Ayano manages to tie it up, and this is where it cuts to some really... Yeah,
it was like 11-0, and then Ayano just boom, closes that 10-point gap. She goes fucking Super Saiyan. It was what the fuck?
And so we do have this cut where they forgot to color everything. I'm just kidding. They meant to do it this way just to illustrate it. And
it's all the inner... Whenever there's a moment where it's it's inside the girls' minds, when it's inside their heads, it's beautifully animated and this awesome line-drawn thing, but all it's colored is their eyes. So you know which girl it is. And it's so good.
And I understand this. They're going back and forth with it.
Yeah.
And they're getting to match point and they're tied up. Neither one of them can secure victory out of this.
Yep.
And Aragaki's knee is about to blow out.
Ayano's stamina is gone.
They're beyond their limits. And I understood this, especially after the match is over.
Right.
Because the crowd cheers. This was the best match they had ever watched in the history of ever.
The final 2 points that Aragaki secures is all done through implication. It's implied that she got those points. We don't directly see the shots happening, but and the sound disappears. All you hear is it goes back and forth between Ayano's breathing and Aragaki's breathing. It's just their breathing, because that's all they hear. They don't hear the crowd around them. They don't even hear the shot of the shuttle anymore. They just hear their own breathing. They are so focused on what they're doing. There's a joke there, but it was still powerful for what it was. Yes, you can take it this way. Go ahead.
As an aside, if somebody walks in on you with no context watching this scene, they will think that you are watching a porno.
Yes.
I'm not even joking.
In context, however, watching the scene, it is fantastically done. It is so fucking powerful. There's just so much power about this episode. It's just...
Power and emotion.
Yes. It is that moment they talk about, Ayano's mother, the horrible human being that she is, at least did talk about that moment where an athlete gives themselves to everything, to what they're doing, to right there in that moment. And that was that moment. And it was beautifully done. But in the end, he predicted it, Aragaki wins, and...
narrowly.
Yeah, but the thing is, Ayano, during the match, she finally comes up with her answer of why she is... She's always asking why... In the first episode... Her first line, why am I playing badminton?
Yeah, she was completely lost then, though.
But she's been lost throughout the entire series. You see her constantly. She's always questioning herself. Why am I doing this? She finally has her answer. And it's because right now, I want to beat Aragaki. That's why I'm playing badminton.
Yeah, she's like, Aragaki is my rival. I have to beat her.
And Aragaki has the same answer. Right now, it's to beat Ayano. And but there's that one... I love this. It just continues with the power of this episode. It starts with the phrase that they don't finish. On the other side of the net, you will always see... ... And they both come to the conclusion... that's it during the epilogue, but still, it's like... a mirror of yourself. And it was so good. God, it was so good.
Yeah, despite this show's missteps in earlier episodes, which were just awful, this comes out as one of the greatest finales
this
of
season.
Any show I've ever watched.
Oh, well, I was going to go that far, but I mean, definitely this season. It's definitely, I will tell you this, out of all the finales this season, it is my favorite finale, just hands down.
It's a shame that we probably will not get a second season because we don't get to see what happens in finals. But, this is a satisfying conclusion.
There might be another season because they actually went out of their way to point out that Nationals are in 8 days, that there's still Nationals to come. So I think they are prepping for the possibility of another season.
We'll see.
But I did love that Ayano did get to tell her mother, fuck you.
Yeah, she did tell her mother to fuck off.
I mean,
because she tries to get her to go to Denmark Denmark with her and Connie, but she's like, nope. And all of her friends are lined up behind her, and you know that she's staying there because of her friends.
Yes, she's like, this is my starting line. This is where this is where my journey begins, and it's not with you. And I still hate Ayano's mom's smug face, like, oh gee, I guess this is where I get abandoned, as if it means nothing to her. What? Okay, I really love the show. I love this finale, but I cannot stand the whole message of it's like child abuse is okay. Child neglect and abuse is okay so long as it makes a better badminton player.
Well, there's one thing that I did comment to you about how, the more evil that Ayano goes, the older she looks.
She looks. Did you notice?
She looks like her mom.
The more evil she got, the more like her mother she looked.
Yeah, and then she kind of goes back to bubbly Ayano, and it's different. But the because I think this one actually went after the credits, and we get a few scenes between her and Aragaki, who is kind of injured. She has like some ligament tears or something, and I guess she has to rest.
Yeah.
Typical athlete stuff. But she still gives those snarky faces.
Say, oh, you're scared to fight? You're scared to go up against me? But I think it was more playful that time. It wasn't as because she didn't do before when she said those. She had the mom face when she would do it. She didn't this time. She had comical anime faces when she did it this time. So I think it was meant to be shown off and played off as playful. So it was actually a great turnaround. I loved the scene where Ayano takes Elena back to the Octo Park, and she has that breakdown where she just feels so awful about how she's been acting, and it's she thanks Elena for everything she's done and always still never abandoning her. Because poor Ayano, she has abandonment issues. She has to have abandonment issues, but Elena never did it, despite how horrible she was, and it was great seeing Ayano feel remorse for the way she was acting, and it was a beautiful scene.
And she does thank Elena for inviting her back to badminton.
Yes.
Inviting.
Yeah, that was the wrong word. She forced her into it. So, it was fantastic finale. Show overall. What did you think about Hanebado as a show overall?
It did have some serious missteps.
Yes.
Like, this cannot be not mentioned.
The second Connie episode.
The Connie episode...
Well, the second one. The first one was
probably the worst episode out of the shows we've watched in the season.
Yes, absolutely.
Including Angels of Death.
I wouldn't go that far. But anyway... But, there were some episodes that it was just like, okay, you're losing your focus, show. You're losing your focus. You're going the show's supposed to be going this way. You went way over here now. It just, there was just some really bad missteps in the show as a whole.
But it does recover, and
yes,
thankfully we get a satisfying conclusion. And, I would give this an 8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly due to that misstep and what you mentioned about Ayano's mom. The child abuse
is okay, so long as it makes a better badminton player. That's just...
This woman's terrible.
I mean, if it at least showed some kind of repercussion for being an awful parent, I could have felt better about it. But no, she just goes, I'll just go back to being a parent to Connie.
I think the only repercussion is that Ayano did challenge her mom to a match, but her mom is like 40 years old now.
Yeah.
She's past her prime, and Ayano is still, coming up. She's a young kid, and she's got a career ahead of her.
Yeah.
If there is such a thing. I've never looked into badminton, I don't know if people actually play that for money, but
I don't know.
At least they portray in the show that Ayano's mom, being a professional and the top, woman in the sport, is making money off of it.
Right.
My predictions is that Ayano would just straight out demolish her.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. Oh man, I don't know. I would have given it yet another star. I would have put it at 9 if they had at least shown some kind of repercussion for being an asshole parent. Parent's not even the right word. She gave birth to Ayano. She is not a fucking parent. I mean, if at least the show had shown some kind of repercussion for doing what she did, I could have felt better about it, but it didn't. Ayano's mom just went, when Ayano basically leaves her behind, abandons her, she just goes, oh well, and leaves. And he's like, I'll just go be a parent to Connie, fuck y'all. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to her.
It blows my mind that this woman would do this stuff.
Does it though? Does it blow your mind after all we've learned? Well, what little we learned of her throughout the show?
You know what? She's left the show. If there's a season 2, hopefully she never shows up again, and good riddance.
I wouldn't mind Connie coming back. I would like to see them sort of form a sister bond.
I wouldn't mind Connie coming back if we don't have any more of these out-of-character moments with her.
Well, here's the thing. We have 2 episodes of Connie. Each one has a set character for Connie. If she comes back again, set a character from one of those 2 and go with it.
Or maybe, build an arc where they come to an understanding.
Yes.
But not some out-of-left-field garbage.
Yes, I will agree with that. The pink-haired girl, it's like, she pops in and then leaves. It's sort of like, okay, what was the point of that?
The pink-haired girl was like Jeffrey in this episode.
She was.
She was about to have an orgasm in those seats watching this match.
But did you notice it sort of looked like the dark side left Ayano and went right into her.
Yeah.
It did. She had Ayano's mom face. It was like, whoa.
It's just infectious.
Apparently. So, yeah, that's how we felt this week. Favorite moment of Hanebado.
First episode.
What about? What about first episode?
This came in strong because of how great that animation was in the first episode.
Absolutely. No, I think I'd have to go with you on. No, I know my favorite episode. Our favorite moment, rather, is the implication that both Ayano and Connie, having never met each other, having never known each other, both have the penchant for getting lost. When they first meet, they're both going to the same goddamn store, and they both get lost going there.
And Connie doesn't even know who Ayano is. She doesn't know she knows who she is. She doesn't know what she looks like.
Right. So, that even doesn't make sense because she saw a picture of her. They show in the Connie Return episode that she saw a picture of her. How did she not put two together?
Oh no.
But yeah, so it's. I like that. See, I think that was one of my favorite scenes, and of course the animation. The animation during the matches was superb.
Yeah.
Where the show fell short is, like I said, there's just times where
you're just like, huh?
Yeah, it's like, what's going on? And of course, when they deviated from badminton.
Yeah, we needed to stick to the topic with this show.
Too often they went way off topic, and there was just so many times where it's like matches would happen off screen. People would lose or win off screen.
Those poor boys.
Yeah, the boys got one match the whole show, but they lost, 3 other matches combined. They lost 3 other matches off. They were all off screen.
How unimportant were the boys to the story that all of their matches were off screen?
And all of their stories where they were actually the focus were short and brushed aside.
They didn't even matter in the story.
Nope. I don't know why they were there. But overall, we really liked Hanebado. So, here we go. We've talked about our finales. We've ranked our finales for the week, right? Rank the shows you think for the season. Our 5 shows that we watched. I mean, we already know Angels of Death is like not even number 6. It's like number 12. But our top 5.
Oh boy, Angels of Death.
Yeah, forget that exists. As a whole, the show's 5-1. What is your opinion?
Let's see. I would put 5. I'd put Joshin-chan.
Overall.
Only because, like I said, it's junk food.
Granted. Okay.
There's no themes you're gonna get out of it. It's just a fun, good time for laughs.
Yes.
Number 4. Oh, this Review Starlight, because it had such potential and it never grasps it.
But I disagree. Only that it does grasp it, but then lets go. After episode 7, it completely lets go.
That's what I mean, man. You know, just it had such potential.
It did.
Out of the 3 shows remaining, I would put Cells at Work. This is a fantastic show for an educational show. Mm-hmm. It's an educational show that blends a storyline with it, and it's getting praised by doctors. So
yeah,
send your children out to watch it, even if you object to the subject matter. No harm there.
Yep.
And I would put Hanebado at number 2.
Okay.
Despite its missteps.
Okay.
And at number 1, obviously, Banana Fish.
Yes. My list differs a little bit. Number 5, I would put Review Starlight at number 5. I would honestly put Review Starlight because...
Well, I don't blame you.
Because it was, like you said, it failed to grasp the greatness it laid out for itself. It laid out itself a great roadmap, and it got to 7 and then petered out.
Yeah.
4th place, I would put probably Hanebado.
Okay.
Because as much as I love the animation, and the finale was just so goddamn strong, I felt that there was just too many missteps for this show.
Many.
Yeah, there's too many missteps. There was too many episodes where we came on here and we were like, look, it failed to live up to what it should be. Despite how good the animation was in the ending, the beginning, the first 3 episodes, last 2 episodes, so fucking good. But it's just, in between there's too many missteps. Number 4, I would put Dropkick, or Joshin-chan, because I love junk food, and that show made me laugh so hard.
Who doesn't like junk food?
I do, but like I said, it reminded me of the days of Zim, and what was the other one you mentioned?
Excel
Saga.
Right there,
I've watched Excel Saga so many times in my life. I love it so hard, but...
I love it too, and I got so confused. Was it 2012 when we would go play Dungeons & Dragons and you would be talking about Excel World? And I was like, is this a sequel to Excel Saga? I never said that, but yeah. I was always thinking that in my mind.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's Excel versus Excel.
I know, but when you say it,
I see.
You can't.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, but Excel Saga. It just, despite it had fewer missteps than Hanebado, even though it didn't finish strong. It had fewer missteps. There were fewer bad episodes of Joshin-chan than there was of Hanebado for me. Number 2 is Cells at Work. I love Cells at Work. It did a fantastic job. Like I said, the Cells as children episodes aside, it was a great educational show. Something I really, really wish I had growing up. I wish to God I had something like that growing up. But we didn't. I can't change the past. But what I do have is this present, and at present, that is a great show. I think all kids should watch. Like, that should be shown in schools. Just, if they had done something about those goddamn subtitles, that would have helped out a lot.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Banana Fish.
No. Cells
it
at
should
Work.
be shown in all schools.
No, Cells at Work. I thought it was Cells at Work. But number one is obviously Banana Fish. Banana Fish is so good. And I cannot wait to continue it into the next season.
Which we're doing, and we watched some...
we saw some interesting trailers.
We looked into what's airing next season, which actually starts this week. And... We've watched some interesting ones. At least one of them made us say, what the fuck, this might be awesome.
There was one that made me like... Remember why we chose Banana Fish? For like the most minute reason possible? There's another show in there that I kind of want to watch for the most minute reason possible.
And I saw a couple shows in there where I could have sworn there was pounding on your door and guys screaming FBI. We probably won't be watching those, but we're gonna look these over, probably narrow it down, especially if there are too many episodes in it, and see what we're watching along with our vaunted Banana Fish.
Do we want to? We have decided on one so far. There's one we've decided on. Do we want to tell them?
We have decided on,
or do we want to save that?
We should probably save it
as
a surprise.
All right, so we have Banana Fish. We have another show. We're going to try and get. We have at least. I think there was like 10, 12 in the maybe column. So
I don't remember.
Yeah, there's about. I'd say
I'm about as good with numbers as I am with names.
Let's say there was about 10 in the maybe column. We're going to narrow that down to the 3 we're going to focus on for the next season of Anime Talk. But we can't get to the next season unless we finish this one. So, guys, with that, we're going to end this episode here. God, tell us what you thought of the summer season of anime. If you watched these shows that we did, let us know what you felt about the finales, what you felt about the shows as a whole. If you watched ones we didn't talk about, let us know what you thought of those. Let people know in the comments who watched this. If we didn't show them a show that you think was worth watching, let people know. Put it in the comments below. And for now, guys, we're going to take off. If you had a good time, please let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, share it, or you can click on the annotations for other videos we've done. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you all next time.